Hey, welcome to training camp. This is Kate with Defiant Nutrition, and you are about to embark on a 7-day educational and empowering program, taking you on a boot camp style crash course through healthy eating. Now, I know healthy eating can be kind of controversial and confusing, so what I want to do is cover the basics of what healthy eating means through the lens specifically of functional medicine and functional nutrition, with an additional focus on your gut and how it applies to exercise and athletic performance as well as health. As you learn through this program, you're going to see why your gut is at the core of your health and your performance. Really, if your gut is not functioning optimally, you are not going to be functioning optimally with whether that's long-term health or your athletic performance and recovery. So we really want to understand how to nourish your GI tract and why. And this is especially important for anyone who is exercising or training 45 minutes or more at a time, at least 4 days a week. That really puts you at this level of athlete that we're going to talk about, and anyone who needs a little extra TLC for their body. That's really sort of this threshold that, when crossed, changes up your nutrition and recovery recommendations and what you need. Your gut takes a toll with all of that. So having the proper foods and rest and recovery is critical to recovery, performance, and overall health. So consider this like a preseason training camp. You are going to have a daily video lesson, a daily accountability task, and you're getting this food list to get you started to really try to ramp up your progress quickly. So it's really kind of this crash course of information. Now, today's video, as well as the final like day 7 next steps, they're going to be the two longest videos. This one runs about 30 minutes, but for the days in between, I really do try to keep them between about 10 to 15 minutes. There's just so much I want to share and explain, and I really want you to understand the science of what's going on in your body and why these recommendations are what they are, because I do want to help clarify that confusion that's out there in the media. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and tighten up those laces, put on your game face, and let's move on to your day 1 lesson. 7 days to a healthier gut. Let's get moving. So as we get into this, I want to go over what you can expect regarding your own results, what information we will and will not be covering, and if this is the right course for you and what you're looking for. Quick spoiler, while I target research towards athletes and sports a lot of the times, you do not have to be an avid runner, racer, or athlete to benefit from this program. So I want to share with you some of the things that past participants of this course have noticed and what they said, because for a lot of people, the starting food list that you got with this is enough. Learning more about what healthy eating means and why can be very empowering. And I hope it will be for you as well, to start reducing the inflammation in your body and to help you start building up health resilience. So these are some of the things that people have noticed in the past doing this course, just from shifting up the foods that they ate for a mere 7 days. People commenting about, tweaking habits to get to a healthier lifestyle. It's so much easier getting up, better sleep, not nearly so achy, lost 2.5 pounds, sleeping better, help with IBS and autoimmune issues. Learning about foods feels better than a fad diet, lost 5 pounds, down 9.2 pounds. And real quick side note, there can be cases where that amount of weight loss is dangerous, and in other cases where it's fine. Her case is the one where we did want to see that water weight flushing off of her pretty quickly. Other comments, my guts have improved so much. This person actually started running, having more energy all around. Who knew what one small change could do? Some other things people mention, their stomach feels great, don't feel bloated. I wake up and I don't feel exhausted. The bloat is gone, my stomach doesn't hurt. Help with my autoimmune and more. And I show you these things to show you what you can expect. I had people commenting on less pain, better sleep, better gut sensations, and more. And you'll experience that too if you watch the videos and follow the program. I used to run these challenges live with anywhere from 10 to 50 people in the group, and I'd say 80% of people get results from this eating style. Now, there are exceptions, of course, so a quick note to the 20% of you who maybe already have tried sticking with a clean eating program, the Whole30, paleo, low FODMAPs, autoimmune, or something, and it didn't help. Stick with this program. and learn what you can from it. Even if you do have an additional barrier to healing just from food, I hope that you will see that it is still important to be fueling your body well. And we will talk more about additional things you can do later if this first kind of training camp week isn't enough. So if you are excited to learn how to get similar results, make the commitment now. Get your mind in the game and get ready to start uncovering the secrets of success. Do note this is just a crash course in nutrition. We are going over a lot, yes, but it still is just going to be going over the basics of hydration and a little bit on sports drinks, protein and dairy, carbs and gluten, fruits and vegetables, runner's trots, zonulin and leaky gut, fiber, nuts, seeds, oils, healing herbs and spices. And so there is a lot that's going on, and we're going to talk about how all of these play into health, performance, and the gut. And I am trying to get as much information to you as I can. I do promise I am giving you the best of me, the best information I have. I'm hoping to give you the best advice, share my motivation and passion. This can become a very, very deep, very nuanced topic, and it can get really, really intricate as you zero in on things like exact grams of carbohydrates per 15 minutes of activity, for example. And we don't have time to get into those details in this crash course. And then you can get into all the very personalized needs, such as in protein, it can range anywhere from 0.5 gram a pound body weight to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight as recommended. So, for example, someone who weighs 150 pounds could need anywhere from 75 to 300 grams of protein per day, depending on gender, age, body fat, muscle mass goals, training intensity and duration, and health status. So we can't get into every single calculation for every single situation here either. I do nutrition and gut health. And in this, we are talking about the nutrition side for gut health. But we're not doing a deep dive into the anatomy of the gut in this course and what could be going on with it. There is a deeper dive in the master class on that you can look into. And there's also a variety of performance nutrition courses in the works that will get more into those specific calculations. And of course, at any time, you can purchase a single session or like a one-off to discuss your specific needs. So with all of that said, who am I? What's going on with this program? What's the little bit of background? I just want to give you a quick intro. My name is Kate Klein. I am the owner of Adventure Bound Fitness and Nutrition and creator of Defiant Nutrition and the Empowered Healing Program. And I am all about sustainable whole life wellness. And I am passionate about teaching how the GI tract and inflammation are key to reaching your health and fitness goals. I'm a registered dietitian of over 15 years, and I practice in this unique subset of nutrition called integrative and functional medical nutrition therapy, combined with this other unique subset of nutrition called functional performance nutrition, which means we work on getting to the root cause of health issues and nagging symptoms, addressing them and optimizing all of your body systems and nutrient statuses to help people not only feel their best, but also perform at their best. And additionally, I do have a background in personal training. I have been a yoga teacher, and I am an obstacle course race enthusiast. I absolutely love helping people overcome pain and GI issues to get back to the sports and adventures they love. I became fascinated with the gut and food-based inflammation around 2009, and I've been studying how focusing on the gut can help ease the issues of IBS, bloat, runner's trots, joint pain, migraines, and more since then, as well as how optimizing the digestive tract specifically can help boost energy, mood, and overall athletic performance. So yes, it's a small little niche, but one that presented itself to me in about 2018 at a Tough Mudder race. And so I began to shift my work focus at that time when I learned how much of a need there was for athletics. It is said up to 70% of runners and athletes do suffer from GI issues. So we're trying to bring this to the surface, talk more about it, and help people overcome this. Now, don't consider yourself an athlete. Don't worry, there should be plenty here for you as well. While my work started at the Tough Mudder, and obstacle course racers, many people from various walks of life have benefited. Past participants were artists, school principals, hockey players, runners, hikers, bikers, stay-at-home moms, teachers, and more, because everything still starts with the foundations that we're getting into here. And anyone can learn something new about eating for optimal health and energy. There are times we'll touch specifically on a more workout-based topic, such as sports drinks, but even if that doesn't directly apply to you, you can learn about the sweeteners, for example, in drinks in general as we go. So stick around. Whatever your activity level, if you have felt tired of a lack of answers, frustrated with gut issues, bloating, trots, joint pain, brain fog, or you just feel like you have more potential than you're hitting right now, you are in the right place. That all can be related to food, inflammation, and the gut. And we will be talking about healthy eating for activity and the GI in this challenge. But food comes first. These nutrition foundations are still the solid beginning to all of the other issues, and we will discuss why as we go. Before we dive into that, remember you should read the welcome email, hop in the Facebook group, post your selfie and intro, and download the food list. You will also see the symptom score form in the module. So along with a link to maybe about a 5 or 6 minute video about how to fill it out if you feel like you need some help with that. So make sure you take care of those things. And I do want to talk a little bit about the symptom score. We do need data. So get this information in as soon as you can before you start on the food portion, and plan to do it again at the end. Data helps us see what is and is not working, and you need a plan. So this is an Excel sheet that you can download. You've got the directions up there and you've got a video you can check for more info, but basically you're going to use the numbers 0 to 4 to rank how frequent and severe your symptoms are. And if you fill them into the shaded blue boxes on the left of each symptom, the sheet will calculate the numbers for you. We're going to use these numbers and scores in a future module to sort of show progress and show what we can do over time. So it's important to understand this sheet. If you don't know where you're at, it's hard to know where you're trying to get to. So reach out if you have any questions about that. And a quick rollout here, a common question I would get with this is, well, this is a 7-day program, so when does the healthy eating start for those 7 days? And that's really flexible. It is a 7-day challenge because you get videos daily for 1 week, but the healthy eating starts as soon as you can get to it. Now, I get a lot of people maybe can't get to the store right now as soon as you finish this video, and you might not be able to get to the groceries for a couple days. And so that's okay. If you need to take tomorrow or a couple days, get that shopping list figured out and then get to the store, that's fine. Just get to it as soon as you can. And then keep that healthy eating going long after these 7 days. This 7-day training camp food list is going to be your starting blueprint over the next week, but you can keep going beyond that. And on that sheet, you'll find your nutrition guide, the portion sizing, and some tips. So make sure you get that downloaded to your phone. You can download it to your computer. You can print it out if you want to, but have that available. So a couple little disclaimers here that I do have to kind of just refresh. Ease in as you go with this. If you have medical direction from your doctor or another healthcare professional, we don't want to go against that. If they've put you on a specific list, such as, say, low FODMAPs, you don't need to start adding in foods from my list that are not included on the low FODMAPs list. Go ahead and just keep following what the doctor said at that point. Also, ease in if you need to. If you go all in and shift your diet from something very different from what we're doing, a lot of people are going to experience a detox type symptoms around days 3 to 5. So you can slow it down if you need to. If you have no overt health issues and you just want to kind of go through it, that's fine. A lot of people can do that. But if you are dealing with some more delicate issues or you've got some autoimmune, you may not want to do that. It can trigger flare-ups for some people. And then initial weight loss, kind of like I mentioned a little bit on the page where we showed what other people experienced. At the beginning of a program like this, it's not uncommon for people to lose more than the standard average recommended 1 to 2 pounds a week. And in this case, it's usually fine. You're not losing muscle. You're also not dropping a ton of fat all at once. You're usually dropping water weight. But as water flushes out of your body, so do electrolytes. So if you find you're dropping water weight very quickly, say 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds, you maybe drop 4 or 5 pounds the first day or two, add in a little sodium or salt if there's no medical contraindication. This can help ease those detox-like symptoms. So don't fear the salt shaker. Add a little extra to your food. Now, I don't recommend sports drinks at this time due to the added sugars, sweeteners, and coloring agents, but you can order an Elite product to assist. And this is basically concentrated electrolyte replacer, and you would just add a capful to a glass of water each day, more if you're on a heavy training schedule. So look for that link in the module if you want to check that out. And again, we do sometimes see high water weight loss at the beginning, and that's not a bad thing. We just don't want you to feel too terribly detoxed as you go with headaches, fatigue, crankiness, those kinds of things. So, a top secret to success. We hear it all the time. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And there's a reason you hear this cliche a lot, because it's true. So check out your fridge and cabinets, see what you already have on hand, and then head to the store to buy your preferred proteins, vegetables, carbohydrates, and fat sources from the shopping list for the next 7 days. Time after time, planning ahead of time and prepping is one of the top things clients tell me have helped them succeed. The number of times they fall off track, it usually comes back to some variation of this. I had a trip or a conference and I didn't plan to take food with me, or I didn't have snacks in my car and I got the munchies or something like that. I got busy and I didn't have lunch with me, so I just went out to eat and I was so hungry I splurged. So plan your food, have snacks available. If you feel intimidated by the idea of creating your own menu plan for the next week, feel free to check out the menu subscription options. It will give you enough not only for this 7 days, but an entire month of healthy eating guidance. Check your module for links. There's all sorts of different menu types that I have available, like a 28-day refresh, just a general flexible healthy eating, plant-based, 30-minute or less. We've got some health issue support as well, low FODMAPs, low histamine, PCOS, diabetes, and so on. And what's great, these are also customizable. So like you see in the picture here, it comes with some preset ideas, but you can drag and drop, change things around, add your own recipes, look for other recipes, and just kind of make it your own if you want to, while still tracking calories and macronutrients, as you can see up at the top. So check out your module for links on that if that is of interest. So either way, plan it yourself, get some support, prep it, and then let's get to it. Now, why on earth are we so obsessed with the gut? Let's discuss. Hippocrates was considered the father of medicine. An ancient Greek physician, he's attributed with the saying, all disease begins in the gut. And there is massive, massive truth to that. But I like to say all health starts in the gut, because I feel that, well, one, it's a little more of a positive spin. And two, a lot of people don't have to have an official diagnosed disease to see benefits from focusing on gut health. And three, it affects more than just what we think of as sickness. Your gut health plays a role in absolutely everything in your body, and its health affects your health and vitality. Your gut plays a role in your immune system response, your nervous system, neurotransmitters, which play a role in your mood, so dopamine, serotonin, etc. It's obviously a big role in your nutrient status, energy production, bone health, and more. And it also plays a very protective role, and a healthy gut helps with prevention against obesity, cancer, autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis, IBS or irritable bowel disease, migraines, arthritis, and so much more. You need healthy foods to go in, yes, absolutely, but then it needs to be properly broken down, digested, and absorbed into your bodies, shuttled around through your blood to your cells and to your tissues, put through various pathways, and the waste needs to be excreted properly and regularly. All of that will affect your overall health. And athletes especially need to monitor their gut health. we do have an increased burden in our bodies when we exercise. And by exercise, I'm not talking about anything massive, elite level. If you exercise for 45 minutes at a time, 3 times a week or more, you are putting this extra burden on your body. And that's great. There's a lot of benefits to it. I am not saying anything against that. We want to, but we do need to balance it, because when we exercise, this is redirecting blood away from the stomach where we would digest and towards the muscles, which leaves the GI struggling at times, especially if you're doing long endurance events. The physical jostling of running can physically bother the digestive tract. If you're nervous before a big event or a competition, that nerves or the stress can create the feeling of butterflies in the stomach, which actually is affecting the nervous system and can worsen any GI issues. The act of running creates a chemical called zonulin that we will talk about more later, but it creates microscopic tears in the gut lining. A higher intake of artificial colors and sweeteners from gels and goos and drinks can disrupt the microbiome. Many people, when they're exercising a lot, are also restricting calories to try to lose fat, and yet they need even more minerals than the average person, but they might be taking in less food overall, which therefore means possibly lower mineral intake. And it is estimated that up to 70% of endurance athletes suffer from GI issues, likely even more as we start speaking up about it. So hashtag normalize poop. I do find the more athletes and active people I talk to, the more they are opening up about this, but nobody has wanted to share. So know that you are not alone. This is a common occurrence. Potential causes of decline to your gut health are numerous, and I touch on a lot of them through this course, but we're still not going to be able to hit everything. Decline can come from any part in this Foundations of Health wheel. So just to sort of overview that, we're going to dive into food, but just to show you what else there is going on here. So nourishment can mean too much sugar or processed food, fake sweeteners, lack of fiber, lack of fermented foods, and more. The health of the gut itself. So again, digestion, absorption, utilization, the microbiome. As we'll cover, running is notorious for damaging the gut. And of all the stool samples I've seen, some of the worst issues were seen in my obstacle course race runners. Maybe it's all the exposure to the stagnant water and the mud and sometimes nearby farm manure, but I've seen Giardia, parasites, E. coli, dysentery, and more, all adding to people having GI issues, fatigue, weight struggles, brain fog, pain, and more. So nourishment and the gut all kind of go together. Then we've got the physicality wheel. So that means all the physical aspects of your body, the nerves. The vagus nerve is a big one because of this brain-gut connection. Spinal misalignment can pinch nerves and cause too slow or too fast movement through your bowels and add to constipation or diarrhea. Brain injuries, concussions, car wrecks, too little or too much exercise, or too much exercise that you're not properly resting and refueling for. Posture, your sleeping situation, the physical alignment of your body in sleep, in couches, things like that, muscle imbalances, tight muscles, and so on. The wedge of sleep or the lack thereof, or poor quality of sleep. Did you know that waking up to pee in the middle of the night is a sign that your sleep is not good enough? You should not wake up in the middle of the night to pee on a regular basis. And stress wheel. So mental and emotional stress, of course, messes with gut health. Again, we know a lot of people notice that if they feel nervous, they can feel gassy, their stomach can hurt. But also chemical stresses. Chemical issues are common, such as mercury fillings, chronic exposure to mold or pesticide or lead or fertilizers, for example, or certain medications like overuse of antibiotics or just constantly needing antibiotics, chronic use of PPIs or antacids like Tums, NSAIDs, and other certain painkillers like Advil and ibuprofen. There's a great podcast episode from The Gut Check with licensed pharmacist Shay Swick, where she discussed a lot more about medication and the risks they may pose on the GI. So that link is in your module. So stress of any kind, whether that's mental, emotional, chemical, or biological, it burns through B vitamins for energy. Serotonin and our happy hormones, it also burns through magnesium, which is important for muscle health and a lot more. So all of these things come together. And when any of the gut is left in a non-optimal state from any of those types of issues, over time we see more and more problems such as allergies, food sensitivities, fatigue and brain fog, osteoporosis, joint pain and arthritis, GERD, H. pylori, or other reflux and heartburn issues, difficulty digesting, especially proteins, vitamin and mineral deficiencies, malnutrition. You may have enough calories, but do you have enough nutrients? We see decreased exercise performance, slower recovery, more migraines, more autoimmune disorders, and so many other things. Essentially, if your gut is not functioning optimally, you are not functioning optimally. It is the first domino in a chain reaction of things falling apart, and it is almost always the first step to climbing back out of a situation and into full health. The first step to addressing gut health is cleaning up the diet in a gut-friendly way. So it all comes back to this. Food comes first. Since food often has the fastest, most dramatic impact, it is a great place to start and warm up into the world of functional nutrition for gut health. I want you to think of your body as though it's a house. And if you're struggling with any symptoms, think of that like a house on fire. And something set the house on fire. Now, this could be a small fire, feeling a little more fatigued than normal, feeling a little extra sore between workouts, maybe needing a daily nap, having a little bit of runner trots on the long runs or some bloating, maybe a little extra joint pain, you're feeling a little tender in the knees, or just generally feeling blah. So like a small fire. Or we could be up to the point where this fire has festered and now it's a large fire. Think chronic health issues, ongoing migraines, IBS, Crohn's disease, PCOS, diagnosed arthritis, chronic fatigue syndrome, or other chronic issues. So regardless, when a house is on fire, you don't start fixing the walls or replacing the wiring first. You need to put the fire out. That is the top priority. It is only after things are calmed down that the investigators go in and they start to see what areas were weak or what was faulty, what was setting up the risk. And then you determine what triggered it and ensure that all of those weaknesses are addressed. So in modern medicine, they usually give you medication to help put the fire out, but then they don't really do a whole lot after that. It's often just plan to take the medication for life. That's like continuing to use a stove with a gas leak and just planning to call the fire department every time you want to cook instead of determining where the gas leak is, where the faulty wires are, shutting it off and repairing the lines. That's a huge difference in conventional medicine versus functional medicine and functional performance nutrition. Medications are helpful when you need them, absolutely, but what's the long-term plan? What is the end game? What caused that need for the medications in the first place? Don't just mask the symptoms, treat the root cause. Likewise, your body, if this is, in this analogy, the goal should be to help you put up the flames as quickly as possible with the right foods, and then determine what the weaknesses were that may have been just waiting for that little spark to push it over and set things rolling in the first place. And then you can work to repair that and try to prevent it from occurring again in the future. So root cause, get answers, restore the body, and build resilience to protect you in the future. And food is often the first and fastest way to begin that process. The gut. It's actually a generic term really tossed about. So for me and for this program, what we're going to refer to with that is the entire gastrointestinal tract plus some auxiliary organs. So you essentially have this tunnel that winds its way down through your body. It begins at the mouth, comes out at the anus. It's like a giant tube, and it's the first line of defense against invaders. It's also where this amazing array of processes happens regarding food. Chewing, swallowing, digesting, mixing, breaking down, activating, absorbing, excreting. But if something in that list isn't working properly, or something in that tube is damaged, no matter how healthy the food is that you consume, it may never fully make it into your cells to provide the health and energy you need. You can see in this picture a little bit of a summary of what's going on and some of the different places where various nutrient absorption should occur. So that is the tract itself, and that's kind of what we are talking about healing and helping. So overall, a healthy functioning GI tract and healthy digestive abilities needs health in your mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, as well as some of those organs, glands, and secretions from like the pancreas, gallbladder, bile, enzymes, and so on. We aren't going to get into that in this challenge. We'll touch on a few things as we need to better understand it. But if you want to get into that deep dive of everything else that could be going on here, then that's again that master course, and you will get a discount promo code for that. It's an amazing way to learn more about your body and what may be behind some of the nagging symptoms and what you could do about it. So if you don't see results in 7 days here, you may want to check this out. We'll review all of this at the end and kind of show you some options, but it's especially important for runners and active people as you have that extra burden on your gut. So the runners, trots, IBS, heartburn, reflux, and more are discussed in a lot more detail there. But first, let's see how this 7 days goes for you. Hopefully that overview piques your interest and gives you an idea of why the gut is the starting point for health. Again, often prescriptions and over-the-counter medications help you manage symptoms. So what we want to do here is now take you to the next step. Start to calm any fires in your body, then determine the root cause of the symptoms and address that. So to wrap that all up, gut health and inflammation are at the core of your health. Food is the fastest way to start making changes to your energy, digestion, sleep, weight, mood, and more. Roughly 80% of people will see results with this 7-day challenge. And if you are in the other 20%, don't stress. There are options for you as well that we'll discuss later, because anyone can benefit from testing to accelerate their results and performance. Your action steps today. Make sure you've introduced yourself in the Facebook group. Use #trainingcamp and tag me. Follow the food list. Sign up for customizable menus if you like. You can change the diet style at any time. Complete the symptom score and get your starting weight. And then if you want, I encourage you to check out the Gut Check podcast with the pharmacist. That's it. See you tomorrow.